everyone, it's Nadia from YARNutopia. Today we are making something that was very requested, a lot requested, to make this tunic top. It is a swimsuit cover. It's very versatile. You can wear it over a shirt or a swimsuit as a cover up over at the beach. You can do whatever you want with this. It is so much fun to make and it turned out so fabulous. So I'll get into the supplies and what we need and answer your frequently asked questions, and we'll get right into making this piece. So the supplies we need today, I'm using cotton yarn, 100% cotton. These are the two colors I am using. I'm using peaches and cream yarn. You can use any type of cotton yarn. I recommend highly that you use cotton because it can get wet, and if you go to the beach with this, it can get wet and it will dry very fast. But the color I'm using, the two colors I'm using is Dark Taupe and Good Earth. Okay, the Good Earth color is this variegated color that we have shells made in this design, and then our midsection is made with the Dark Taupe color. So you can get the same colors as me, or you can use your own yarn. The amount of yarn we are going to need, if you are going to make this exact size as me, you can get about 1,100 yards of cotton yarn. You can use any type of cotton yarn, any type of brand. I know that Bernat Handicrafter yarn is very nice, or Lily's Sugar and Cream is also nice. So you can use any cotton yarn, but just know that it is 1,100 yards that I used, and the hooks we are going to use today, the main hook we are going to use is an H size hook, which is 5 millimeters, so make sure you have that for the whole piece. And then optional is our belt, our midsection here. I just chained a bunch and made a little midsection to tighten the waist, and I used a K size hook for that, which is 6.5 millimeters. So you can use that, or if you wanted to, you can get a belt or a ribbon or something to use as your midsection, your waistline tie, I guess. We are also using a yarn needle and a scissors for this project because we'll be cutting our yarn, sewing in our ends when we change our color, and when we sew this piece together. We're going to be making two panels, the front panel and the back panel, exactly the same, and then we'll be sewing them together. Now, frequently asked questions. I get questions asking how big did yours measure? So I'm measuring mine across, and it is about 24 or 25 inches across, okay? And then, so it's made to be very loose on your body, okay? It's made to be very flowy and loose. So mine's 25 inches across, and you can obviously tighten the waistband to make it tighter around the waist, but have it come nice and flowy down, so that's nice. And the length of this, we come to the length here, from top to bottom is about 26 inches, okay? So that's from top to bottom, but in this video tutorial and in my written pattern, I do share that you can make this however big or small you want this to be. It is a multiple of 12 stitches, so you can make this however big or small you want it, which is fantastic. It's so versatile. And let's see here, I said the measurements, I said how much yarn we'll need. Oh, obviously if you're going to make it bigger though, you will need more yarn than the 1,100 yards, so get more yarn if you need to make it bigger. This took me about 2 days to make. I wasn't working on it fully long, but it is a very fast pattern because we're working with a lot of double crochet and chaining methods, so this is really, really fast. And the shell stitch is very similar to our mermaid tail, so if you know how to make the mermaid tail, you can make this with a breeze. This has been a very highly requested piece as well, so I hope that you like it as much as I do. If you get a chance, please go to the description of this video on YouTube, and in that description you will find the link to the blog where you get the free written pattern. as well as in the notes section. We'll have all your frequently asked questions, and there's photos in my blog of this piece and me modeling it, so you can check that out as well. And there's a link to my Facebook and Instagram, and I would highly recommend, if you make this, to share a photo on the Facebook so that we all can see here in our community, so that we can give you many praises, because I would really, really love to see your work and what colors you come up with, because I would love to see other colors. I just thought while I was making this, if you want to make it in a rainbow colors or really bright colors, I stuck with more earth tones, but if you wanted to make it in any color you wanted, I would love to see your photos of what you come up with. And if you share a photo on Instagram, make sure to hashtag YARNutopia so that I can see your work. I'll go like it and comment on my faves. Also, you can follow me on Snapchat. I'll put my username, it's YARNutopia. I'll put that in the description of this video. And you can subscribe to my channel here on YouTube. I want to thank my dad, Fuad, Azmat, for taking the time out to make these videos with us. He is our videographer, editor, and photographer for all of our videos. So make sure that you click that red subscribe button so that you can get the update on when he posts our next video. And if you do have a chance, if you're on YouTube and searching around, make sure to go to our channel on YouTube. And on the right hand side there is a blue button that says support. Make sure to click that and support us in any way you can. That would be greatly appreciated. So let's get started and make this fabulous piece. To start off, we have to make a slip knot, so put your short end over your long end, fold that down and pull that through. Pull tight. Okay, and we can start. Insert your hook in that loop, pull that tight. And I'm starting off with my variegated color. You can start off with one of your colors. Now to start off, I'm going to chain 98. You can chain any amount that is a multiple of 12 and then plus 2. So I'm going to chain 96 plus 2 is 98. Okay, so you can chain, you know, if you need it bigger, 110 or 122 or 134, etc. So I'll put all that information in the notes section, but all we need to do is just yarn over, pull through. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I won't make you watch me do all 98 chains. So I'm just going to chain 98. Like I said, you can chain however many you need to. That is a multiple of 12 plus 2. And that information for larger sizing is in the notes section of the blog, so make sure you check out that if you need to make this bigger. But this is going to be very loose on me, and I'm normally a size small medium, so I will meet you up when I have my 98 chains, and we will go on to row 1 together. Okay, so this is what your big chain should look like. Now we are going to work a double crochet in the 3rd chain from the hook and across the chain. So the loop on the hook never counts as anything. So count 1, 2, and 3 right in this chain here. Okay, and what I normally do, I like to look at my chain like this. I like to turn my chain toward me. And you can see these back ridges here. I like to work into those back ridges. So yarn over, go into the 3rd chain from the hook, 1, 2, 3, right into this back ridge. Okay, then yarn over, pull through, and then yarn over and pull through 2 loops, and then yarn over and pull through those last 2 loops on your hook. Okay, that's a double crochet. So now we're just going to yarn over, go into the next chain. I like to work in the back loops, or the back ridges here. Yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, and yarn over and pull through 2. Yarn over, go into the next chain, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, and yarn over and pull through 2. So I'm just going to double crochet into each stitch all the way across, just like this. Now you could have started with a foundation double crochet and skipped the whole chaining method. You can do that as well. Just do then a multiple of 12 of those. So if you wanted to foundation double crochet 96, you can do that, because at the end of this row, when we are double crocheting across this chain, we should have 96 double crochets. So I will meet you up at the end of row 1, just double crochet across, and then at the end of this row we'll go on to row 2 together. Okay, once you double crocheted across, I have 96 double crochets. We can go on to row number 2. So we want to chain up 1, so yarn over, pull through, and then turn our work just like this. Okay, and now we're going to work in each stitch on this side. So now for row 2, we are going to put a single crochet into this very first stitch that we just chained up 1. We're going to insert your hook right into there, yarn over, pull through, and then yarn over and pull through 2 loops. Then we are going to skip these 2 stitches here, and in this next stitch we are going to put 5 double crochets. So yarn over, go into this stitch, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, and yarn over and pull through 2. Yarn over, go back in, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. So that's 2, this is 3, 4, and 5. Okay, then we are going to skip these next 2 stitches here and single crochet into the next stitch. So skip this, and go into here for a single crochet. So insert your hook, yarn over, pull through, and then yarn over and pull through 2 loops. Okay, and then we're just going to repeat that. So skip the next 2 stitches and put 5 double crochets into the next stitch. And if you are following, this is very similar of the stitches that we do for the mermaid tail. So it's super easy. Just put 5 double crochets in this next stitch, then skip 2 stitches and put a single crochet in the next stitch. Then skip 2 stitches and put 5 double crochets in the next stitch. And then just repeat that all the way across. Like I said, it's so similar to the mermaid tail, so if you've made the mermaid tail, this will be a piece of cake for you. So just follow along with that pattern all the way across, and then I'll meet you up and we'll go on to row 3 together. When you come to the end here, I have my 2 last double crochets, and then you can see over here there's like this chain 2 right here. We're going to make our last stitch, our last single crochet in there. But if you have, 2 or 3 stitches left or just 1 stitch left, just make sure to single crochet into this very last stitch. Either this chain 2 here or the last stitch. Does not matter. Nobody's going to see that. So just insert your hook, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2. Okay. Now, going on to row 3, we are going to chain 5. So yarn over, pull through, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're going to turn our work, so now we're looking at it this way, and the first 3 chains count as our first double crochet, and then these last 2 chains count as our chain 2 space. And now we are going to skip these first 2 double crochets here and go into this middle double crochet of this 5 double crochet grouping here. We're going to put a double crochet in there. So yarn over, go into that middle stitch of the shell, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, and yarn over and pull through 2. Okay, just like that. Then we're going to chain 2, 1, 2, and then we're going to double crochet in this next single crochet here. So yarn over, go into that single crochet, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, and yarn over and pull through 2. Then chain 2, 1, 2, and then we're going to double crochet into the middle stitch of these 5 double crochets. So yarn over, go into the middle one right at the top here, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, and yarn over and pull through 2. And we're just going to repeat that all the way across. So chain 2, double crochet into the single crochet between the shells, then chain 2, and then double crochet in the middle double crochet of the shell. Okay, then chain 2, 1, 2, and then double crochet in the single crochet between the shells, and chain 2 and double crochet in the middle double crochet of the next shell. So just do that all the way across, and then I'll meet you up and we'll go on to row 4 together. Okay, when you finish this round, you just want to put a double crochet in the last single crochet of this row, just like that. And then for round 4, or row 4, we're going to chain up 3, 1, 2, 3, and we are going to turn our work just like this. And now we are going to work our shells, but this beginning shell is going to be a half shell, and we are going to put 2 double crochet into this first stitch right here where this chain up 3 is. So yarn over, go right into this very first stitch, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, and then yarn over and pull through 2 loops. Again, yarn over, go into the same stitch right there, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, and yarn over and pull through 2. So that chain up 3 at the beginning there counts as our first double crochet, so it looks like there's 3 double crochets in that stitch. Now in the next double crochet here, we're going to just put a single crochet. So just insert your hook, yarn over, pull through, and then yarn over and pull through 2 loops. Now we're going to hop to the next double crochet and we're going to put 5 double crochets in there. We're making our shell stitch in there. So make 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Just like that, shell stitch in that double crochet. Now in the next double crochet, we're going to put a single crochet. So just insert your hook, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, and pull through 2 loops. Okay, and then we're just going to repeat that across, so just put 5 double crochets into this next double crochet, then single crochet in the next double crochet, then 5 double crochets in the next double crochet, all the way to the end. I'll meet you up at the end because we are going to put a half shell in the last stitch. Okay, to finish this round, I put this single crochet in this double crochet, and then you have your big huge chain 5 space. We're going to skip these first 2 chains and then make your 3 double crochet into this 3rd chain here. So yarn over, go into that 3rd chain, okay, the middle chain there, the chain 5 space, then yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, and yarn over and pull through 2. Yarn over, go back into that chain, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, and yarn over and pull through 2. Then yarn over and go back in for the 3rd double crochet. Finish that off, and there you go. So that's a half shell ending this row. Okay, so now going on to the next row, let's see here, 1, 2, 3, 4, row 5, we are going to chain 5, so yarn over, pull through, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're going to turn this around, working this way. We are going to double crochet into this single crochet here. So yarn over, go into this single crochet, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, and yarn over and pull through 2. So this chain 5, actually these first 3 chains count as your first double crochet, and then these next 2 chains count as your chain 2 space. And we're just going to basically be repeating row 3. So chain 2, and then double crochet into the middle double crochet of the next shell, then chain 2, and double crochet in the next single crochet between the shell stitches, and then chain 2 and double crochet in the middle stitch of the next shell, and just repeat that all the way across, and then I'll meet you up and we'll go on to row 6. When you come to the end here, you want to put your last double crochet into this chain up 3 here. So a yarn over, go into this chain up 3, then yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, and yarn over and pull through 2. Okay? So there you have it. Now going on to row 6, we are going to chain 1 and turn our work. And now we are basically going to repeat row 2, but we're working just in these double crochets now. So single crochet into this very first one that we just made that. Okay, insert your hook, yarn over, pull through, and yarn over and pull through 2. Then in this next double crochet, we're going to put 5 double crochets in there. So making our shell stitches. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Then we are going to single crochet in the very next double crochet. Then 5 double crochets in this next double crochet, and just repeat that across. So do your shell stitches, and you'll end this row with a single crochet, but I will meet you up at the end of this row and show you that, and we'll go on to row 7 together. Alright, finishing up this row, like I said, we want to single crochet in the last stitch, but to know what the last stitch is, it's the third chain of this chain up 5 here. So you can count 1, 2, 3 right here, this middle chain. We're going to insert our hook into that, because that counts as our first double crochet of that previous row. So then yarn over, pull through, and yarn over and pull through 2 loops. Okay? That finishes off row 6. Now we are going to go on to rows 7 through 10 are a repeat of rows 3 through 6. Okay, so row 3 is our chain up 5, and then turn your work, and then double crochet in the middle, double crochet here. Okay, so you can follow along with the written pattern, or you can rewind this section to go repeat rows 3 through 6. Once I finish row 10, so I'm going to repeat rows 3 through 6, so 7, 8, 9, and 10, the next 4 rounds, I'm going to meet you up after row 10, and then we'll go on to row 11 together. Alright, when you finish row 10, we're just going to single crochet in this chain, the third chain of the chain up 5 there. Okay, and this is what your work should look like so far. You should have 5 rows of shells, okay, and then 1, 2, 3, 4 rows of these double crochets in these little things here. Okay, so this is what it should look like. So now going on to row 11, I'm just going to check my work here real quick. Okay, I am going to actually change color, but if you want to, you can just chain up 5 and go on to row 11, but I'm going to take this out, okay? I'm going to pretend that I am finishing my single crochet, okay, like this, so just insert your hook in that chain up 3, pull it through, and then grab your new color. So I'm going to just grab a ball of yarn. I guess I should have had this ready. There we go. And then hook that on your hook and pull that through. Okay. Now the color I'm using is very similar to this other color. This one is dark taupe. Okay. And then I'm going to chain 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and turn my work. And now we are going to repeat row 3. So yarn over, go into the middle stitch of this shell right here and make a double crochet, then chain 2, and then a double crochet into the single crochet between the shells. Okay, so just repeat row 3, just chain 2 and double crochet in the double crochet, the middle one of this next shell, then chain 2 and do your double crochet in the single crochet between the shells, so just like that, repeating row 3. And if you are changing color at this point and you got your new color on there, I'm just going to cut my old color and then I'm going to tie these two in a knot, okay, just like this, because I want to secure that. You don't have to tie knots, you can just sew in your ends, it's totally fine, but I like to tie knots and I'm going to sew that in later. But I'm just going to stick with this pattern all the way across, and then I'll meet you up and we'll go on to row 12. So I'm coming up on the end here, and you want to just double crochet into the last single crochet on this row. And you know, before I did want to mention, I guess before going on to row 11 here, row 11 here, I just wanted to mention that you could repeat rows 3 through 6 for however long you wanted this section to be. So I just ended on row 10, and now we're going to start making our mesh design, but you can make this part as thick as you want. If you want to keep repeating rows 3 through 6, just end on a row 6 and then go on to making this row 11. And then now we are going to start making our mesh design. So rows 12 through 35, or however long you want the midsection to be, we are just going to chain 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, turn our work, and then double crochet into this double crochet. then chain 2, 1, 2, and then double crochet into the next double crochet. Then chain 2, 1, 2, and then double crochet into the next double crochet. Okay, then chain 2, and just do that all the way across. And then once you're finished with this row, you're going to put a double crochet in the chain, the third chain of that first chain up 5. And then you're just going to chain up 5 and go repeat this row and make this row however many times you want. I am going to make, let's see here, rows 13 through 35, just like this. Okay, so this is row 12 I'm working on, but then I'm going to do rows 13 through 35 exactly like this, making this mesh design. It's going to look netted and beautiful. And then once I've finished with row 35, I'll meet you up because we are going to do another shell row. Alright, I'm just finishing up row 35 here. You can finish on any row that you want, however long you want to make it, but this is how it should look now. Mine is about 20 inches from the bottom to the top here. You can make it, like I said, however long you want. So just repeat this mesh design for however long you want. And then we are going to change color after row 35 or the end of your whichever row you choose to end on. So when you're finishing, make your double crochet like this, but then don't yarn over those last 2 loops. We're actually going to yarn over with our new color. I mean, you could just go on to make using the same color, but I'm going to change color here. So I'm going to yarn over and pull through with my new color to finish off that last double crochet on row 35. And then we are going to repeat now for row 36. We are going to repeat row 6. So chain up 1 and turn your work. And then we are going to put a single crochet into this same stitch right here. So insert your hook, yarn over, pull through, yarn over and pull through 2 loops. Okay, then we can pull all this tight. I am going to pause for a second and cut this yarn here. Okay, so I have my 2 stragglers. I'll sew those in later. And then we are going to put our shell stitch in the next double crochet. So that's 5 double crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then we're going to single crochet into the next double crochet and then shell stitch in the next double crochet, and just repeat that all the way across. So this is our shell stitch in here, then single crochet in the next double crochet, then shell in the next double crochet, and just do that all the way across, and then I'll meet you up and we'll go on to row 37 together. Okay, finishing row 6 here, or 36 here, we're repeating row 6, just finishing the last single crochet in that third chain of that beginning chain 5 there. Now going on to row 37, we are repeating row 5. So chain 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, turn your work. And we're just going to do a repeat of row 5. So we are going to double crochet into the middle double crochet of this shell. Then we're going to chain 2, 1, 2, and then double crochet into the single crochet that's right here. Then chain 2, 1, 2, and then double crochet into the middle double crochet of the shell. And then chain 2 and just repeat. So we're just double crocheting into the next single crochet, chain 2, double crochet into the middle double crochet here, chain 2, and just repeat that all the way across. And then I'll meet you up and we'll go on to row 38 together. Finishing up here, we're going to chain 2 and then double crochet into the very last single crochet on this row. And then we're going to go on to row 38. We're going to chain up 3, 1, 2, 3, which counts as our first double crochet of this next row. We are going to turn our work around and we are going to put 2 double crochet into this first stitch here that we just chained up in. We're going to put 2 double crochet in there. We're repeating row 4 now, okay? So row 4 says to put 2 double crochet into the same stitch here, and then we are going to single crochet into the next double crochet, and then we are going to continue with our shells. So we are going to make 5 double crochets into this next stitch, this next double crochet right here. Oopsie. Okay, so 5 double crochets in here. Oh my goodness. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There we go. Then single crochet into the next double crochet, and then 5 double crochets in the next double crochet. And then I'll meet you up on the last stitch of this row, and we will make a half shell and go on to row 39. When you're coming to the end of this row, remember to put your half shell in the 3rd chain of this beginning chain 5 here. Okay, so yarn over, go in, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, and yarn over and pull through 2. So that's 1, 2, and 3. So we're only putting 3 in there for a half shell. Okay, now at this point we are going to repeat row 4 for row 29. So chain up 3, right? Oh no, we're not repeating row 4. We're repeating, sorry, we're repeating row 3. We're for row 39. Yes, I was reading my pattern wrong, sorry. Repeating row 3. So chain up 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Turn your work, and now double crochet into this single crochet here. Sorry about that. We're repeating row 3 here. So chain 2, then double crochet in the middle, double crochet of this next shell, then chain 2 and double crochet into the single crochet here. Okay, so this is all in the written pattern. I just was reading the pattern wrong at the beginning of this row, so now for row 39 we're just repeating row 3. So just do that all the way across, and then at the end of this row I am going to change color. So I'll meet you up at that point. Before I change color, I do want to mention you can repeat, now at this point, repeat rows 6, 5, 4, and 3 for another few sections if you want to make this section longer or thicker, very similar to our section here at the bottom. But I'm just going to have a thin section of those shells, but you can have, I'm just going to do the two rows of those shells. But you can do repeat rows 6, 5, 4, and 3 again. To make this longer as many times as you want. So just repeat rows 6, 5, 4, and 3. But I am not going to do any repetition. I am going to now grab my new color, and then I'm just going to do these next few rows, rows 40 to 44, in just a repetition of row 12. So chain up 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, turn the work, and then double crochet into the double crochet, just like that, and then chain 2, and then double crochet in the next double crochet. So making our mesh design again. Okay, so I'm going to do that for rows 40 to 44. Again, you can make this part, this top part, as big or like as thick as you want. I'm just going to do 5 rows of this, but you can do as many rows to make this long and longer, I guess. But I'm just going to do rows 40 to 44 just like this, just like our mesh design that we had in the midsection of our piece here. And then I'll meet you up at the end of row 44, and we will go on to our last row together. Alright, I did rows 40, 41, 42, 43, and 44 off camera, but it just is our mesh design, and I'm just finishing up row 44 here. And then, now you could make however many rows you want of this mesh design for the top part of this tunic, but I am just going to be going on to my last row now. I feel like this is thick enough. So now we are going to go on to our last row. Our last row, whichever row you end on, it is going to be, for me, row 45, but you can go on to any row you want. Chain up 3, that counts as our first double crochet, turn your work, And now we're going to put 2 double crochet into this first chain 2 space here. So put 2 double crochets in there, 1 and 2. Then we're going to put a double crochet into this double crochet right here. And then we are going to put 2 double crochets in the next chain 2 space. And then 1 double crochet into the next double crochet. So just double crochet across, putting 2 double crochets in each chain 2 space and 1 double crochet in each double crochet. And then at the end of this row I will meet you up and we'll fasten off together and go on to the next step. Alright, I'm just finishing up this row here. Remember, in this last chain 5 space, you want to put 2 double crochet and then a double crochet in the 3rd chain. So 1, 2, 3. This was counting as our first stitch, so we have to put a double crochet in there as well. So insert your hook, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, and yarn over and pull through 2. Okay, so now we are done. So we're going to fasten off. We're going to fasten off with a long tail. So I like to just chain 1 and then cut my yarn semi-long-ish and then continue pulling that through. Pull that tight. And now this is what your panel should look like. So this can either be your front or back panel, but that's what it sort of looks like. Okay, and now you just need to rewind this video and make 1 more of these exactly like this, and then once I have that finished, we'll meet up and we will attach the 2 pieces to make our tunic. Alright, so this is what it should look like. I just have made just another one exactly the same as our first one. So now what you want to do is lay it on top of the other one, just like this, and line up the stitches. And now we are going to, also when you cut off the straggler at the very end, you want to have 1 straggler on this side and then the other straggler on this side. So just flip them. Okay, so like that. So then on this straggler we're going to sew on this shoulder, and then this straggler we're going to sew on this shoulder. So just make sure that you have opposite sides. If you didn't want to, obviously you could have cut this short and then sewed in that end and then just used the yarn from your yarn ball and sewed up the shoulders. But we're going to sew up the sides first and then the shoulders. So you want to lie this sideways like this. And then you want to line up your stitches, and I'm going to start here actually. So after, let me see my pattern here. After row 10, I'm going to start sewing. So there's going to be a little slit here. You can decide if you want to sew this all closed, but I'm going to leave a little slit there and I'm going to start sewing from here. So what you need to do is grab the yarn from the ball of yarn and grab your yarn needle and yarn your needle with that yarn, because we're going to be sewing this up now. Okay. And I'm just going to whip stitch this. I'm not going to do anything super fancy. You can do a mattress stitch or slip stitch this up or something, but I'm just going to go into the chains. Okay, so both layers. And then I'm going to pull a ton of yarn through. Okay, and then I'm just going to come back around and go into the stitches all the way up this side. So I'm just going to go around and around. Okay, so from this side to this side. Okay, just making sure that my stitches are all lined up very closely. Monitoring that, and if they are, then I'm just going to put my my needle where it fits and just continue sewing that up this side just like that. So I'm going to sew it up until I hit about right below, I guess, this row here. So right below these shells here, about an inch or 2 below that. Okay, right about here is where I'm going to stop, because you want to make sure your arm fits through there, because that's going to be your armhole right here. So You can sew this up however high you need it to be for where your arm is going to fit through. I'm thinking about 2 rows below my shells here. And then once I get to this point right here, I'll meet you up, we'll fasten off, and then we'll sew the other side and our shoulders. Alright, I'm going to fasten off at this point, so I'm going to just go back in, around, hold this loop up though, and then go back around through it. Okay, remove the finger and pull that tight. And then you can tie, you know, a couple knots if you feel comfortable. I like to tie 2, some people like to tie 3, just for peace of mind that it's not going to unravel. Then, to sew in this end, let me cut this shorter. Okay, I'm going to yarn the needle with the straggler and sew in this end here. So I stopped about 9 inches from the top. You can, I think that's the best to stop about 9 to 10 inches from the top. That should be big enough for your armhole. And I'm just sewing this in just like that underneath those stitches that we just made. Okay, the whip stitches that we just made, and then I'm just going to snip any extra. Okay, and then coming back to this part here, this is attached to my ball of yarn, so I'm going to actually snip that and then tie that off. So I'm going to yarn my needle with that. Okay, and then I'm going to come back around and make a couple of knots. Okay, and then sew in that end. And obviously this whip stitching does not look so great. We are turning this inside out, or right side in, I guess. So I should have mentioned that earlier. Whichever side you want to be on the inside, make sure you're sewing that side. So this is going to be on the inside. Okay, we're going to flip this and turn this inside out and use the other side as our fashionable piece. Okay, so that's that right there. Now I'm going to do the same exact thing. So I just marked here that I ended with there's 1, 2, and then the third space here. So 3 spaces, 1, 2, 3 spaces free under here. So I'm going to do the same exact thing to this side. I'm just going to flip this over. Okay, and then I'm just going to do the same exact thing as I just did to this side. So I'm going to sew up this end with the whip stitch, and I'm going to fasten off about 9 inches from the top, and then I'm going to sew in all the ends, you know, tie my knots and sew in all my ends. And then at that point, I'll meet you up and we'll go on to sewing the shoulders closed. Alright, I just sewed this area now. We are going to sew the shoulder. So come to one side that has the straggler. You can use the straggler or use the yarn from the ball of yarn that you have. And just yarn your needle. Okay, and now we are going to just whip stitch the first 25 stitches. You can whip stitch the first 25 or up to 30 stitches, but we kind of want a boat neck, so I'm just going to do the first 25 stitches, and I'm just going to go from this side into this stitch, out this stitch. So both layers. Okay, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I won't make you watch all 25, but I'm going to just whip stitch these next few stitches, and I think I'm going to do 25 stitches, and then I'll show you how to fasten off. To fasten off, I'm just going to fasten off like I did my side. So I'm just going to go through the loop, or through the stitches, then hook up that loop and then put this through, this straggler through that, and then pull tight. And then you can do that a couple of times or 3 times. Okay, and then we are going to sew in that end right away underneath these stitches that we just made. Okay. Just like that, stretch it out, and then cut off any extra you may have, and there you have to do the other side now exactly like that. I did this off camera, so the first 25 stitches, or you can go up to 30, but this is our neck area. Our head is going to go through here. This is going to be more of a boat neck, but if you wanted it to be tighter, you can obviously go in further and make your neck hole a little bit smaller. So once you finish doing all the sewing, you want to turn this inside out, because that was our wrong side, our inside. Okay, and you'll see that when you turn that inside out, or right side in, I guess, whichever way you want to say it, these now look nice and clean, very clean. Can't even tell that it's seamed up. So that looks really good on both sides. Okay, and then you can see at the bottom here, there's their slit right there. And at the top, your shoulders should look like this. Looks so fabulous. So now let's go on and make a little belt. Okay, grab your bigger hook. If you want to use the same H size hook that we were using, that 5mm hook, you can, but I'm going to use a 6.5mm hook for the belt, for the chain. So what we have to do for the belt, we're just going to make a chain belt. You can use a ribbon or any type of belt or anything, but I'm going to make a slip knot here. So put your short end over your long end, fold that down and pull that through just like I showed you in the beginning of this video, and insert your hook. And now we are going to chain something that is double the size of the width of our piece. So I'm going to bring our piece in here, and I measured this across, and it came to about 22 inches. Okay, so you want to make something that is double that size, so at least 44 inches, and then you want a little bit extra as well, because you want to wrap it all the way around. So I'm going to make mine measure probably around 55 inches, and I assume that's probably going to be around 150 chains. So all we have to do is just yarn over and pull through. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Don't worry, I'm not going to make you watch all 150 chains. So just chain the amount you need. I'm going to chain 150, and then I'll meet you up when I finish chaining, and we'll fasten off this together and weave it through our tunic. Alright, so I just chained my 150. This is my big long chain here. So now I'm going to fasten off. I just like to chain an extra one and then cut that yarn and continue pulling that through and pull that tight. Okay, so that is our belt there. So if you wanted to, you could double crochet across this or something and make it nice and thick, but I'm finished with that. So now we want to grab our tunic, choose which side you want to be the front, so I just assume this one will be the front side, and now we want to weave this through. So this is the center right about here, so we want to weave this through, and to do that we are going to take our yarn needle and our chain. Okay, and yarn our needle with that extra yarn on the end there. And then we're going to go through the middle, so through the center. I'm assuming it's going to be right about here. So I'm just going to go in through these, and then I'm going to skip like 3 stitches, okay, and come out. Okay, don't come out all the way, but just come out just a little bit, and then skip 3 stitches, and then come back in and go back out, and just weave this around this whole piece on this row. Okay, so you can choose which row you want it to weave through. I'm just doing right in the midsection, but you can do it high or low, and we're going to go all the way around this piece. So I'm going through the back side now. It'll be better to go this way. Okay, so I'm just going to weave this all the way through, and then when I'm all done, I'll meet you up. Okay, so I just wove this all the way through, and this is what it should look like. You want to make sure that they are both even on both sides, okay? Just like that, even. And then I forgot to mention that you can cut these little stragglers a little shorter, but not too short. So I'm just going to cut them like that so that they have these little ties at the end. And then you can just tie this in a bow and give it some shape around the waist. Okay, so I'm just going to tie that, and there you go. Our tunic is complete. I think it looks so fabulous, and it is a little big for my table. There, you can see everything. Sorry about my trash over here. But there you go. Thank you so much for watching and learning how to make this fabulous piece. I'm going to go enjoy it. I'll probably go to the beach or something. But thank you again for watching. Make sure to check out those links in the description of this video. If you have any questions about it, I recommend rewatching the beginning of this video or going to the blog. I will have all the information you need, whether it's sizing or stitch counts or any of that information. You can just go to the notes section of the blog in the pattern. I'll have notes on, the sizing or how long it took me to make this, or anything, or how much yarn you need, or different kinds of yarns, all the frequently asked questions. So I'll have all that information in the blog. So make sure you click that link and check out the blog. Also, share your work on Facebook. I would absolutely love to see this on Facebook. If you make this, you can model it or put it on a mannequin and have that model it, or I would just love to see what colors you come up with. I love the colors I chose. I just like this taupe color, but I would love to see the colors you choose and what you come up with to make your tunic. Also, you could make sleeves on this. I didn't even add sleeves. You can make cap sleeves or long sleeves, like big wide sleeves, just going with the mesh design that we made in here. So this is so versatile. You can make this how big, how small, how whatever you want it, on many different colors. It is an awesome pattern. So thank you again for watching. Happy hooking, everyone!